Generic greetings and welcome to Farthest Frontier. Today's beverage is a very nice traditional cup of tea. Not the most interesting or unique beverage, however, still a very nice staple indeed. So welcome to Farthest Frontier. This is a survival city builder where you set off with some people in order to create yourself a new life on a frontier that is indeed quite far away. You select from some varying biomes and all of the maps are randomly generated. You'll have to select where your starting location is and then gather basic resources like berries and wood, increase the size of your settlement, obviously provide food and shelter, clothing, that sort of thing. You'll progress up different technologies. There's advanced farming, there's a full weather system as well as a seasons thing going on. So yeah, there's a fair bit to go through in this one. It's a first impressions only because I've only played about 5.5 hours of the game and I haven't got to the very end of the tier for technology, so please bear that in mind. I can't really speak on that, but yeah, either way I'm going to jump in and show you a little bit of the game. This is version 0.7.3 for the record, as shown on the bottom right. It's in early access, so yeah, nothing you see is final, everything's subject to change. The typical disclaimers: there's going to be polish to add and bugs to squish. Let's go to a new settlement and we'll select our difficulty. You've got Pioneer, Trailblazer and Vanquisher. We could say easy, medium or hard. You can also change that in the advanced settings, so if you want, for example, everything at medium but you want resources at, you know, just a lot more, then you can do that. But we're going to go with, as I said, just a standard Trailblazer here. It's currently called Rockfield, but you can randomly generate the name. Blackmire, Starvestead, no, I don't think like Arcadia, Mockington, yeah, we'll have that one. And then you've also got the map size. You've got a pacifist mode as well, so if you turn that on, you won't get any hostile forces like bears and boars and things like that, and also raiders as well. The terrain, now this is a bit of a strange one. This is, it says random, that's what the default option is. However, you can change it to arid highlands, alpine valleys, lowland lakes and plains. However, each one also has an ingrained difficulty level. So lowland lakes are an idyllic setting for dense forest, lush meadows and lakes teeming with fish, easy environmental difficulty. Plains and alpine valleys are medium, and then arid highlands is hard. So I think this should come under the difficulty settings as well, or be more prominently pointed out, because my first game when I had random put me on arid highlands and it was not an overly great experience having to learn the game and being on this quite harsh land. So please bear that in mind. We're going to go with lowland lakes to make it a little bit easy for ourselves, and then we will start this off. A couple of things this game has a bit different from its contemporaries and competitors is there is a 3-year farming rotation where you put in different crops and simulate soil fertility, rockiness, as well as what's it called? Like different levels of like soil structure and composition. So you have to manage that. You also don't really have a great way of managing forests, as in you can clear a forest, no problem at all. However, there's no typical forester like you get in other games, which would just chop down trees and then replant them. However, there is something where you can take down more mature trees and leave the other ones to grow, but I'll touch on that later. I just know it's probably going to be a bit of a point of note, maybe even a point of contention for some people, but like I say, I think it does set it apart from a lot of other ones here. In terms of loading, I must confess, it's not on an SSD, but it takes quite a while, and also it's absolutely hammering my graphics card. To be fair, generic computational machine version 2 is getting on a bit, but the 2080 should not be running this hard for something that is capped at 90 FPS on not even maximum settings. I haven't even got everything set up, so that is a point of note. I don't know about concern, but it's running a little warm. Anyway, so we have now come to our, this is our town centre here, and we have to basically find where we're going to place it. So this is, as I said, randomly generated, so I've never been on this seed before. We have a big sort of snowy outcropping here. Obviously there's different resources around, so we've got mushroom clusters, we've got clay deposits, we've got greens over there, lots of greens there, more stuff there, some patch of herbs on that side, and I'm looking for some nice forest. Here we've got a nice forested area here, but it's not overly flat as well. So I want to find an area where I can, I mean, placing up. Oh, there's a very dense forest. That would be nice to sit nearby. I'm going to turn on some overlays. F is the fertility, and it shows you how fertile the land is. That's really fertile. So maybe starting here and then do some farming over there. And we've also got the wood and some greens. Yeah, I think this is probably where we're going to go. That's your fertility. You've also got a desirability. So that's mainly for where people want to live. And finally, you've got your water, which there's actually not a huge amount of water there. Anyway, we're going to set up in here, and I will select yes, and we will basically create our town centre and the first part of our settlement. Quick rundown through the UI while the guys are going to chop down all these trees. I've placed it, but they still have to chop this down. Actually, what I'll do as well, I'll say harvest resources. I'm just going to tell them to chop down all of this, because we won't be... we'll have to get rid of this anyway because we're going to be placing different buildings. Top left, we have our villagers who are sick. We've also got, which is obviously none. We've also got the age brackets of our population, how many we have. So we've got 12. None of them have anywhere to be. We've also got the villager happiness. All of this, or most of it, you can click on. It'll show you a bit more. So yeah, very unhappy people because obviously we're homeless. They've got no amenities, etc. There's our food, and it says we've got 9 generic units of food in storage, and it'll say there how many we will lose in the next 12 months because there's also a food spoiling system in the game. So no longer can you get, say, 5,000 units of fish and keep it for 10 years. There's our seasons there. It's early spring, year 1. We've got other resources on the right side, logs, firewood, planks, stone, etc. Controls shown on the right hand side, and then bottom right we also have our building menu and resources to harvest and that sort of thing. So we need 8 wood to construct this thing. The worker's going to be cracking on with that. What I'm also going to do is just create a road that goes around the outside. This road here is simply a dirt road, so I don't think it actually costs much, if anything. It just says dirt road allows your villagers to travel faster. Costs are per 100 meters of road length, and the costs in this stage is just straight up effort. It just takes effort to do, whereas once you upgrade it, you can upgrade it to a stone road, and then that will obviously require stone. A couple of alerts on the top left here. It's saying we've got no housing and we've also got no firewood, so we'll have to sort that out. Time controls are on the bottom left. You can go to a maximum of +3 and half speed. Half speed up to ×3. This thing is almost done. We can see it is 2 wood out of building. Naturally, we've got some varying levels of construction here, so it doesn't just go from nothing, and then boom, up to full. So, what I was talking about woodland. So this is where we've got a lot of woodland. So we've got a maple tree here with wood 9, logs 9. However, that's got an oak tree 7, that's 7. But this one here, this is red pine, so fast growing, but it's only got 4 because it's not fully mature. So if I wanted to, I could very easily go to harvest resources and just harvest the lot. And obviously that would yield us a huge amount of logs. But we've then cleared the forest. There's no saplings left, which means, guess what? You're going to have to wait for essentially this to encroach back from where it was. If you completely clear it, yeah, you've turned it into a field, and that's bad. So, as far as I can tell, and again, first impressions only, the best thing to do is to chop down anything that's dead standing, which you can find dead standing ones, and chop down anything that is mature and leave the younger trees to then grow. Obviously, removing it. Is that honey or something? That's an oak tree stump. Maybe chopped down by villagers. Oh yeah, so it is essentially a dead one there. It's got loads of fungus on the outside. Brilliant. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, you want to chop down a lot of the dead wood and keep the rest of it and let it grow. Later on, you will get, I believe, I think it's resource production, you will get a work camp. Used to continue to harvest wood and stone. Labourers assigned to the camp will deposit materials. Yeah, haul to the town. Temporary shelters built near them. Yeah, harvest wood and stone. I think that harvests like the same mature trees. But we need to get some probably places for the people to be. So housing, standard shelter. I'm gonna press tab to rotate this. Space is to pause it. 1 there. 2 there. We can't place it around the back there. Shame. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll expand the road down, across, and to the back. However, I'm going to go a little bit further because at the back here, I want to place... where would it be? Resources. basic well. It's only 47% to go there. It's not very good at all, that. Not very good at all. There's some gaps there I've left just because I can. You can put some decorations in there, so like some nice little rockeries and stuff. Oh, that requires gold, which we don't have. We can't even collect taxes at this stage. So we've got our main Mockington town centre up and running. There is a button there where you can press to tell them the garrison if you're getting invaded. Shows you what it provides. Shelter and cleanliness. Is that provides or is that readout? Not too sure. Anyway, also shows you requirements at the top to allow you to upgrade it as well, which you can do for almost everything in the game. They have upgrade bonuses, like we can upgrade a dirt road to gain movement speed. So we've got that. We need now a readily supply of food. We have a lot of these things around here, like hawthorns and greens, and hawthorns, more greens over there. I'm not seeing any. We didn't see any water, so I can't go fishing, and I didn't see anything to hunt. So we're going to have a problem there as well. So food may be an issue, which means probably farming is the way to go. But for now, I'm going to go to food production, over to a Forager Shack, and we're going to place a Forager Shack. Well, there's no real placing it. I don't really see placing it over here. We just need to place it so they can get that stuff. This is telling me about harvesting resources, which we're aware of. So let's go for a Forager Shack. I'm going to place it, say, in there, and that gap that I'm leaving, we were going to go for, there's a fishing shack, crop field we'll talk about later, smokehouse we don't need that, but I do want a firewood splitter, because you need firewood to, well, not die of the cold in the winter. So they're going to crack on with this. They've got, it says 10 wood required, so I'm just going to harvest resource, like I say, any of these big trees will pull down, and that's obviously going to provide us with a lot of wood. Yeah, oak trees. I don't know if the trees in the game have different growing properties, so naturally pine should grow faster than oak, but I don't know whether that is simulated in the game. I would hope so. You'd think for a game like this that would be the case, because otherwise why would the, other than aesthetics, why would they have it different? Speaking of aesthetics, horrible to admit, but I was harvesting on a different game that I have going, and oh, a new villager is born. Brilliant. Yeah, I was harvesting on a different game that I've got going, and there was a lot of dead wood that I was getting rid of, and then it went to winter, and I came back, and I was like, oh my god, what's happened to the forest? They're all dead. Obviously, a beat later I went, no. These are not evergreen trees, these are deciduous trees, they've just missed the leaves. And sure enough, you'll be able to see later on in winter, when you click on them, we can see we've got this overlay, let's see where all the leaves are, that still shows. Not the tree, you can't see the leaves, but that's the leaf sort of pattern, the outline there still shows during winter. I don't know whether that's oversight or on purpose to indicate the type of tree, but anyway. So this thing is now up and running. I'm going to change the work radius just a little bit further back there. More people await word to join your settlement. Fair enough. So I've moved it further back so they can get hawthorn, and we've also got the greens as well. So they're cracking on. Let's get a field. So I want to go for a food production and then a crop field. Crop field is going to go on this most fertile land here. So maybe there and there. That is a 10 by 8. Let's make a 10 by 10 field. Although, strangely, I think that, you know, it should be longer, but no. Maybe we'll make it actually 8 by 10. We'll place that in, and I'll also... Actually, I'll wait to see what happens there. I do need a way in and out the field, and I will be bounding it with some of these fences. I don't think it much matters in this game, but in a previous game, some boars turned up and kept eating the crops, which was, yes, not ideal. I'm going to tell these guys to harvest some rocks, because at the moment, we don't have a ready supply of water, and that is, yeah, that is important. So I'm going to prioritize these rocks. If you don't have water, they will seek out water wherever they can get it, including random pools in the middle of nowhere that may or may not be diseased, and yes, they can sadly perish for doing that. So you want a ready supply of clean water there. Over to probably roads, and I want to place a road that goes somewhere close to this, because every building will have a travel time, so it shows you how long they're taking to travel to and from it and what they're doing. So I can place this here, but then place the marker miles away. It's not efficient, but you can do it. Once again, over to food production and then to a Forager Shack. I'm going to place this probably a little bit further in. Maybe there is alright. I want to try and get these greens, and that should be fine. Then I'm going to place another one in this field's going there, isn't it? So maybe there. And I'm going to run. So this is where the field is. I'm going to leave a gap, so I'm then going to run a path down here, then along to there. Oh, hang on. Oh, so this shows you that something that I'm going to cancel that. The paths will actually curve, so you have to be careful. Actually, we can probably just curve the path. I like the way the paths curve. It's quite nice. That'll do us for now. So they're building all of this, auto-saving, coming up to midsummer. Firewood's low, and oh yeah, villager is stricken with dehydration. Prioritise the building of this. We need to get that water up sooner rather than later. I've told them to prioritise this build, the mining of the rock. But they're not. So that could be bad. So I mentioned about the food spoiling. Yeah, more dehydration. Really need this up and running sooner rather than later. Yeah, the food stores, it says that we are going to lose 1 unit of food in the next 12 months just due to spoilage. So there's ways to store your food. You've got a smoker, which will make it last longer. You've got like a cold storage thing. There it is there. You've got a root cellar, and that is indeed very useful. Are they going to start building this? Yes, 4. Not yet. And that person is, yeah, that's dressed. They've got dehydration on. 3 more. Speeding up to max speed. Not that it's going to help them in the long run. I just want to get this done. So 10 more effort required. So someone's just going to have to build it. I've prioritised it, and they're not prioritising it. Have we got a builder coming along? Anyone? No. I'm going to remove you. Remove them. I don't want them stone cutting. I want them building this thing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Water! Brilliant. Right, I'm going to build another well somewhere. So we're going to go for resources, well. Place one there. This is currently out of water. It's a dry well. It takes a little time to cycle through, essentially. And villager cured, because they now have a drink. Good. The well can run dry, I believe. You get bonuses based on where you place it. And I think if it's under trees, it says. Plenty over time based on groundwater levels, yeah. Train water bonus, seasonal water bonus, nearby well penalty. Yeah. So the capacity is 250. Obviously, we're running low on the water, but it doesn't matter because people are now getting that drink and they're now getting cured, which is good. We now have 6 food and 3 of it's going to spoil. The stuff that's spoiling will be most likely the stuff that we're recently picking. There's some hawthorns there. I like the way you can click on it and it gives you a little blurb about it. So hawthorns are large thorny shrubs in the rose family that produce red berries which ripen late in fall. In times of desperation, hawthorn berries are one of the last remaining food sources for settlers. If that was said by Leonard Nimoy, that would sound a lot better. But sadly, you're just going to have to do with me. Okay, so the well is a bit dry, but everything else is getting built over here. The field, I haven't even started making the field, I should point out. It doesn't require resources, it just requires effort. But they have to clear all the trees first. It's just how it is. What else can we make? Well, I'm going to go for storage and a stockyard. It says a place for villagers to stockpile building materials such as logs, stone, and planks. That's just going to go probably next to this, which is good. There's the other well up and running, so we now have 2 wells, and hopefully that's good enough. We have also some mushroom clusters over there. Very nice, potentially. You can press E, and that will give you an explore mode, and you can click somewhere, and people will go and explore, just to see, well, what's over there, and if that will afford you any bonuses. Lots of greens here, and this thing isn't built yet, which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. So firewood is running low. We're on 65. I'm not concerned about that one. And a new villager has immigrated. Cool. Welcome. We are on 14 of 16. I've never seen it go over capacity. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying I've not seen it happen. It seems that you've got like the right amount of people arriving. I don't know about births though, because you do have, yeah, there are infants, adolescents, and adults. You can click on any of the villages as well, and it'll show you their name, their occupation, age, education, ailments, and what they're wearing, and their overall like diet, warmth, happiness, and health. I don't think you can manually assign different things to them, but they will pick up what they need. So, for example, if you have a hunter, they will actively go to this thing, which is your storage cart, which is what we set out with, and pick up some weapons as well as a bow and an arrow. This is our storage cart, by the way, and you can shift it. So if you wanted to harvest elsewhere, you can... Oh, okay. That was interesting. It went on its side a little bit. Okay, the land is obviously suffering from a wee bit of subsidence there. And also this firewood thing is not going away, is it? That probably shouldn't happen. Early access is early access. So, how we're doing over here, we are now trying to clear the field, well, or make it a field, which I'm guessing is removing all of the weeds and other foliage and plants that are there, all the trees and stuff, remove the roots, get all that gone. Then they'll have to level the field and then put in some, what's a track and furrow? Anyway, they'll have to put on all the different rows for planting there. Cool. In terms of our population, we have 46 population. That includes 1 firewood splitter, 4 farmers, 3 foragers, 4 builders, and the rest are just general labourers. So if they're not assigned to this or builders, they're just labourers, which are not to be underestimated. You do obviously need those to gather things. There's some birds going overhead. Is that geese? Geese. Yeah, can even hear the noise from them as well. Anything else we can build? We've got this thing. I'm going to go straight away for a root cellar, which means probably something quite different in Australia. So we're placing that there, and this is going to require 10 wood and 20 stone, so we need more stone. So we'll say for this one, harvest, prioritize, and probably do the same there. We do have, how much wood? We've got 17 wood. But you can see now, it's autumn, so all of the leaves change, which is really cool. All the leaves on the trees have changed to this lovely sort of ambery brown, reddish colour. And we get some leaves in the wind, the grass has changed colour, and we're heading into winter. I'm guessing high difficulties will also alter the strength of this. So we've got 10 food, but 8 of it's going to be spoiled in the next... 6 are going to be spoiled, yeah, in the next 12 months. We can see it's broken down into protein, grain, vegetable, fruit, and dairy. We can further expand that to see what it is. But we've got, for example, produced and consumed in green and red respectively, and then spoiled in amber, which... at the moment nothing's spoiled, but because we're storing it in not ideal conditions potentially, we do need to focus on maybe improving those, so getting these up and running, the root cellar. So I've told them to remove those rocks. There's a nice birch tree there, a couple of other saplings around it. I'll harvest that one. There's thicket. Just a big thicket. Greens there. We can't see them. We can see the symbol for it. Hawthorn berries can be gathered. And oh, we can see some smoke coming out from here. There's a nice detail to these. So we've got like loads of herbs hanging off the side there. Some plants growing. Some berries. That's for our Forager Shack there. Let's have a look at the different homes here. I think it's the same, it's just a different orientation. I don't know, actually. Is it different? I think it might be a bit... yeah, it might be a little bit different. Because it's got like the cooking vessel here, the pot over the fire. That's what appears to be carrots in there, some sort of root vegetable. Then this one's a bit different. And this one's the same as that one. Yeah, there's a little bit of variation in them, based on the orientation. So, how are we doing for producing stuff? Not too bad. 18 and 12 required. The farm, we're on 2,880 labour required. But we can see they have removed a lot of the grass, which is good. A couple of things of note as well. We can check out the resources in storage. We can break that into either straight up categories. So that's what we have. You can show the categories if you want, or empty lists. So it's quite nice to go through. We do have some food that's been spoilt now. So we've had some vegetables and just actually vegetables that have spoilt there. So it's probably something we've harvested or maybe even brought with us. But still, that's happened. We've got a clear area, which I've cleared some of it, and that's still highlighted when we open that up. You've also got your harvest resources as well. You've got your managing of walls, which we're probably not going to look at too much because that's more of a... we don't really need them at this stage, and we've got other things to be building. Flattening terrain, we've got dirt roads, and then I said about the exploration, which I put over this area, and we've discovered some more greens and some rock. Very nice. In terms of building, it's split into 3 tiers of technology. So you've got tier 1, 2, and 3, or tier 0. It doesn't even say tier 1 there, but it's tier 1, 2, 3. And for example, in resources, tier 1 is things like firewood splitter, saw pit, wells, Fletchers, basket shops, things like that. Ooh, impending blizzard. Temperatures are dropping as severe winter storm approaches. Hopefully our town is well stocked with firewood, as the colder temperatures require villagers to burn more wood. Heavy snow can cause damage to buildings. Wow. You also notice as well, this can't be worked on anymore. This construction has been halted due to winter. Ground's just too hard, probably. Yeah, you've also got like a compost yard, because eventually, yeah, the village is going to be complaining about waste, and you need to haul that somewhere. And then later on, you've got things like clay pits and work camps, apiaries, which I think that's fruit trees. Yeah. Potters, weavers, coal mines, armory, and then the last stuff is like glassmaker and such. And a new villager has been born. Defences is just straight up tier 2, barracks and lookout tower. I don't know at this stage what is missing, like what is really like a... yeah, we haven't put that in. I don't think there's any... are there any... churches? I don't think there are. There's theatres, healer's house, trading posts, schools, pubs, rat catchers. I don't think there's a system for religion in the game. At least I haven't seen it pop up or be a prominent aspect. So, yeah, bear that in mind, I guess. But in, early access, anything could be added. Also, I don't know if there's a way to cross water. I was on a map earlier, and it was very water intense, which is good because of fishing, but at the same time it was also a bit problematic. Oh, there's that blizzard. Yeah, it was a bit problematic because getting around would be a bit of a nightmare. So this is, let's have a quick look, deadly cold temperature, moderate breeze. Wow, that's quite severe, that thing there. It says firewood is low, but like I say, that is a bug. If we can just... no. But we do have 86 firewood. Now, traditionally, I would say that is more than acceptable and more than enough for the first year of the settlement. However, for what's going on here, I'm not too sure. So I did say about a blizzard. It doesn't say that the blizzard's going to, continue on permanently. We see we've got some snow on the ground. It's really covering this thing in snow, isn't it? Wow. Oh, no, I think the blizzard has stopped. Yeah, people have come out and started to work. Yeah, we get some snow on all of this. So, again, nice detail to this. In terms of the graphics, I do think it is a nice-looking game. It's not high in fidelity. Like, so we look at these like, bulls here, for example. And, yeah, the animation is fine. Food stocks are low. Yeah, food stocks are low, admittedly. But yeah, it's got its look down for sure, for sure. So we've only got one more food. Admittedly, some is spoilt, and we hadn't been able to keep it, which is a shame. I can also hear wolves. We desperately need to get this up and running. You can do trading. There's a trading post and such, which would have helped us if we obviously can do trading. Well, we can't do trading. We haven't got that post. Lots of greens over there. So that one is set to harvest a bit further back, shall we say. There is acceptable, yeah. I'll build a road further down as well, so we can at least connect up to that. Oh, it's curving around for some reason. That will do us quite nicely. Build sites need resources, but none have been selected for harvest. Definitely have. Harvest resources. Yep, they are going to go and do that. Yep, there they go. Straight away. New year. Year number 2. And gather all those greens. Loads of greens around here. Loads of greens around there. We're going to go for... Oh! We have a predator. We have a wolf. There it is. So, we have a wolf that's attacked. Well, our villagers are using... Yeah, they're just punching it in the face. Okay, so, interesting that the wolf came there. I'm going to explore over on the right-hand side. And furthermore, I'm going to build, in food, I'm going to build a hunter's cabin. I'm going to build a hunter's cabin over maybe... here for now, because I can still move that area. It obviously requires like travel time, which is not going to be ideal, but at least we'll have some there. So they're gathering more wood. We can see all of those have been stacked up. They're not going to prioritize it until they absolutely desperately need that stuff. Similar thing for this. We haven't got any of this stone, so we need to prioritize that. So you can click on these and do the harvest resource, or you can just use this and just say, right, well, you know, just get all of that wood there. I don't mind taking all of this because this will be built on anyway, whereas I do want at least a forest that we can manage. So take out all of the big trees and then let the other ones grow. I can't speak about... There's herbs and greens here. I can't speak about herbs and greens. I can't speak about the time it takes to regrow all of this stuff, but I'm sure that'll come in time. And as I said, I'm just trying to put some exploration markers on just to see what is around us. I don't know who's going to go there. I don't know if it's labourers or anything. So we're working on that. In order to upgrade to the next tier, we need some more shelters, more population, and a market. In order to get a market, we need a saw pit and a storehouse. We don't have a storehouse. So, what's the difference between a stockyard and a storehouse? Stockyard is storing raw materials and produced materials. The root cellar, partially underground structure, you store food at a reliable temperature, reducing the rate of spoilage. Brilliant. And storehouse. Need to store all items. It stores all items, does it? Ooh, that's really important then. I guess you'll place it in an area where you're gathering a lot of stuff. So, there maybe. That should be fine. Oh, it's going to take... I don't know if it's going to take out all those greens. I'm not going to place it there just in case. Storehouse. I'll just place it there for now. Should point out as well that you can get raiders who will come and want to nick things. So, you have to protect it. That's more of an advanced thing though. Don't know, that guy's still burning. Food stocks are low, but we now have our root cellar. So there's all the stuff it can store, and people will bring it over here. Importantly as well, you can have barrels, and if you have barrels, you'll gain bonus storage, because it's more of an organised thing. Predator sighted, and attacked by villager. Oh, there they go. They're being attacked. So they're coming from somewhere. Oh, he's running off. Yeah, so basically what happens is if they take too much damage, they're going to retreat. Where is... Do we have this built yet? We don't. I'm going to say, where is the hunter? We don't have one. But that guy's running back. And it looks like Orna age 24, has just meleeed wolf death. However, we do have a problem. Villager is stricken by rabies. So yes, there are diseases in the game. We've seen dehydration, but you've got rabies. What was it we had previously? I mean, I'm guessing things like cholera and things like that will be in. It's incurable, so that person will eventually die. Not ideal. What I'm going to do is set this marker to there, because another predator sighted. Right, wow, okay. Where is then our hunter? He's there. And that's where they are. The problem is that Patrick is being attacked, but they are totally unarmed. What's that? A wolf. So, run, Patrick, run. I mean, this is free cardio for him, to be fair. He'll be doing a lot of this when he's in the hunting profession. And now the village is going to gang up on this wolf. Oh, hang on. Must have got that wrong. Ah, there you go. So this person is our hunter now. Selena. Yeah, good. And what happens is they come up and use a massive axe, which I don't like, to skin and harvest the meat of that. It would be nice if they had like a skinning knife and you could see them working at that. But they're now going to come here and basically they'll stock this up, because this place, as well as others, has to have firewood and water and provisions there. But then they'll start hunting from it. So, good. Is the carcass of the wolf still over here? I can't see it. But basically they'll need to start butchering. So, let's place that marker there, because we've seen animals come from this side. Yeah, yeah. So we're gathering stone. We are not gathering wood, but we can gather the wood over there. And we've still got some firewood lying around. Don't know why it's just been placed there, but it has been. We will eventually need a graveyard, because this guy ain't going to get any better. Mushroom cluster over there and some hawthorns. Might be nice to have a... maybe... Oh, new villager's born. Nice. Maybe a Forager Shack over here. Place for villagers store food and items collected from the environment around the village. Yeah. I'm going to place it deep in the forest. Not destroying any things there. Oh, their mushrooms are really good there. Yield 31. Mushrooms grow seasonally and can be harvested by a forager for villagers to eat. Good, good. You see, this person now is increasing in health. Just takes a little bit of time to rest. Rest it up. That person is not well at all. And sadly, probably won't make it. Rabies. Yep, in fact, as we were looking at them, a villager has now died. So, what do we do with that? Well, obviously we mourn the lossing of them. And then, quickly, we get them into a graveyard, because we really don't want them just sort of hanging around there. So we're going to place it right on the top here. Seems like a nice place to put it. So, villager has succumbed to illness. We'll see what happens there. Need to build this thing. I'll prioritise the building of that. It only requires effort. I'm just curious at these. Flags have not been explored. I think it's about time we got some more villages. I think so. But naturally we need the resources to do all of that. Harvest that tree as well. Who have we got on payroll? 4 labourers. No builders are free. Got no builders. Food as well. We've got obviously a farmer. Bring out your dead. Yep. This is talking about the thing up here. In terms of the tutorial, it's... well, there's not much of one. We've got pop-ups and we've got these bits here that are good enough. Would be nice to have more. But I guess a lot of it is trial and error, trial and error. The game is not overly easy, and obviously that's by design. Oh, look at all them hawthorns over there. Let's move it to there. I've also got hawthorns there and hawthorns there. Loads of hawthorns everywhere. As well as patches of herbs. I do want to start gathering those herbs because I don't think we have many, if any at all. And it's very useful to... gather. I'm going to keep moving this Hunter's Cabin marker. And you use it as like a way to explore. Aha! Boar sighted! So, this is boar sightings. 3 boars. And what on earth? They are retreating. No, you will not retreat. You will attack boars. I've clicked on the character and I'm manually telling them to move in and attack boars. And there we go. Yeah, these are big axe to chop it. I hope that animation's changed. Like I say, it's hard to knock at this stage in the game, it being early access, although it does feel very playable. Oh, there's our graveyard up and running, by the way. Nice. One person in there as well. But yeah, that animation in particularly is a bit of a bugbear, personal one. So we're getting close to this. This field is almost done. And that's where a lot of our crops are going to be coming from. Well, all of the crops, all the food, really. So I'm just going to rotate this around a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And crops are ready for assignment. So this is where we have, let's say, a big difference from a lot of other these type of games. We have a 3-year crop rotation. All fields have a soil fertility, a weed level and a rockiness level, and also a soil mixture. So this is quite clay. We can alter the mixture by adding sand or by reducing it, whatever we need to do. And the way this works is you have to place some crops in here and it'll do whatever it's going to do. So you've got things like beans and turnips and carrots. You've got your wheat, but that requires it to be milled, so it's another level of processing which we can't currently do. But you've also got other things like buckwheat and clover. So naturally we're not going to eat that, but there's a reason for it. Let's take a look at beans. Beans have a crop yield of 6 out of 10. They have a 0 frost resistance, so they're not going to overwinter at all, but they have a very good heat tolerance, so that's good as well. Rockiness resilience is also brilliant at 10 out of 10, so you can have a field that's really rocky and you can just not deal with it. I guess if you're just using different crops that require don't require that you to remove rocks. Weed suppression is only 2 out of 10, so not very good. Grow time is fine at 125. Then you've got your fertility impact, so this will increase it by 2. So it's rated between -5 and +5. This is going to increase it by 2, so it'll make the soil more fertile. And it also shows the fertility depends. So if we were to, say, plant beans here, that would be pretty good. However, obviously we're coming close to the end of this season, so we're not going to be doing anything here. You've also got an option for the farmers to work, which I've put in. So they will sort of work on there, then they'll crack on with this one, and then this is the winter stuff where you can't move it back there. So that's going to be the first year. The second year, we're going to go for maybe some cabbages, which is going to reduce the fertility of the land by 3. And then we're going to do some turnips. No, maybe we don't go cabbages. Maybe we go... I definitely want turnips because they've got good overwinter stuff. Maybe some peas, which increases the fertility. Maybe 2 sets of peas, which is going to increase the fertility. So it's going to go up by 2. What are peas? Oh, they have no heat tolerance, though, peas. So we can't grow them then. Right, okay. Turnips can go there, and then finally peas can go there. Or maybe we want to grow them right at the start of the season. I wish you could click and drag and move them over that, by the way. That's another little bugbear there. So peas there. Right. And then we'll go for maybe carrots, turnips. We can't. I guess it's just going to be turnips and turnips. We could actually remove that. Put that there and put clover in there, yes, and clover's brilliant because it's got a massive heat tolerance, a massive cold tolerance, doesn't care about rocks, but has a huge weed suppression and a +5 positive fertility. And finally, what we're going to grow here, I think it's going to be cabbages. We've also got leeks. Leeks absolutely hammer fertility, but the yield is brilliant. So we'll do that, and then maybe... So we're going to be on... I know we've spent a bit of time on this, but I think this is an important part of the game, and it's a unique part of it. So we're on +2, +4, +9, 7, and then leeks will take it down to 3. So we can technically maybe shove some carrots in there. And would that work? Would that work? Yeah, it will still be on positive fertility, but it's not going up by a lot. So we might be over egging this. But this is something I've been experimenting with, so yeah. And I don't know whether or not we can... I don't know whether or not this is the right way of doing it. The experimentation is, yeah, something obviously we're going for. I can see as well a lot of our crops requiring a more sandy mixture. So I'm going to increase our sand to about there. And you can see the yield change as well when we do that. That's going to be that's a bit more in the sweet spot for some of our crops. Okay, so we'll end that, and what's going to happen is, well, at this stage, nothing, because we've failed to begin planting. We just haven't been able to do it. We've got the peas, and then the clover, and then the turnips. It might be that we just don't have the time to do all that. It says we can put it in there. Whether or not it's going to work, I have no idea. We'll see in the next day or so. We have more houses getting built. We have food 7, and 7's going to spoil. But hopefully now that this is in place, it'll be a little bit better for us. 132 firewood, 4 stone. So we do need probably some more stone. I've got that set to harvest. I've got that now set to harvest. Actually, did I have this other one set to harvest? I prioritized it, but I hadn't set it to harvest. This one, I will also prioritize that. And there's some more in here as well. And again, just prioritize it. There's a lot of stuff we can do. Those are all set to target as well. Overall happiness is brilliant. Yeah, people are loving being in here, which is good. And we can see here, this has sort of all gone to seed because we're not really tending to it. But next year, we will start to see this process happening. So yeah, I think that's a brief overview of the game, especially the close early tier 1 stuff. We haven't got the sawmill that I mentioned. What do we need for this? We need a saw pit, not a sawmill. A saw pit will be in resources. Saw pit, we've also got a tannery, which produces clothing. But I'll place a saw pit. This has a negative desirability. So if we say have it here, no problem. Move it over there. Ooh, everyone doesn't like the saw pit. So we'll have a more industrial area-ish here. Just rotate it round. Can go in there. Fine. That'll be alright. So yeah, that's, I think, a brief overview of the game. Notable standout features. Obviously, you've got your full weather system as well as seasons. You've got food that spoils. Just basically, you can't just harvest loads of boar meat and it'll last forever. A really big standout feature is this farming system. I like the detail in it. I like the management. Basically, if you wanted to, you can just grow loads and loads of wheat. But well done. You're going to absolutely wreck the fertility of that field. I mean, you just have to destroy it and move on and do something else. Yeah, 125 meat was lost. Wow, and 64 berries. I think we need a smoker. I also I think that this is a notable feature as well. I say feature. But if you just rip out all the forest, naturally you're not going to get any new trees. If you take out all of the older trees and leave the other ones to grow, and then more saplings to be naturally seeded and planted, and you can keep an eye on that and have a managed woodland essentially. You don't have a building per se to do that, but I think a work camp does do something similar. Yeah, continuously harvest wood and stone, so that's something that is going to be useful. That's a tier 2 thing. Overall though, as terms of stats go, it seems to be a very strong one. I think we're going to have some shortages of food. Well, I think we know we're going to have shortages of food. Luckily, it's only going to be half a month before we can start getting loads of these greens and such, so that'll go right up. Basically, every time you start a new game, there's the boars. We can probably say the boars are there. I'm not seeing any. This person is really unhappy because of food. Just moving them around to try and... There's a boar, so I'll ask them to target that and hunt that. But yeah, that guy's taking the boar out. Job done. The other boar... No, the other boar's run off, so you don't need to do that. Yeah, in terms of, as I said, the early start, yeah, it seems to be a strong start. A very strong start. Are there any glaring problems? Probably after this 6 and a bit hours of play. Not really. There's that quirk here and there where they just run off even though they've just killed a target, and you know, random bits like the cart spinning when we moved it around. All like sort of minor stuff. The biomes themselves are interesting, and the seeds do make it different. This is the 4th time I've played on this biome, and it's always been a bit different. Sometimes I've had to do loads of fishing, sometimes hunting, sometimes really hit farming early on, because otherwise, yeah, you're just not gonna find anything. You know, you're gonna have to farm it if you're not finding anything. And naturally, there's gonna be other ways to push it. There'll be raids later on and things like that, but won't be showing you that here. But overall, I like what I see. Certainly interested to see what they do and add in the future and how they progress on with it. Some people naturally were put off by the inherent difficulty of this rotation of the crops. I wouldn't say maybe the difficulty, but more the complexity of it. The fact that food spoils, people really probably won't like, I guess, because, well, it's not really a staple. And the woodland stuff, it's not, at this stage, easy to do. But it all feels correct in the world, which I think is probably a good compliment when you play a game. Either way, there's our crop field, and we are storing loads of beans. Good for us. And with that, we will call it there. That's been a bit of the game. Hope you have enjoyed this first impressions, this little look at it. If you have any tips and suggestions, feedback, etc., would love to hear it. If there's more information that you would like to impart to other people, put them in the comments. And if you want to see more, by all means, let me know. I'm going to be keeping on playing, and I've been very much enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to trying out a bit more. But with that said and done, let me know if you want to see any more as well. And yeah, we'll call it there. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's been entertaining or interesting, informative, etc. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.